So sometimes with a lot going on, you can feel like things are coming from all different directions at 100 miles an hour. Sometimes people will shut down and crash before they can react because it's too overwhelming to tackle it. Do you have any tips for combating the urge to crash? Whoever wants to start off that one.
I'll start. I think, well, one, just from a leadership perspective, and this is a personal experience. So my supervisor, he had been paying attention to the media and everything that was taking place with all the racial tension and everything that we know that's happening, right? So not to put too much emphasis on it. And he transparently just sent me a text and said, wow, I know there's a lot going on. Like, how are you doing with this? And let's push some of the deadlines, back. And for me, that for me showed a lot, because that was conscious leadership to say, I'm paying attention what's happening around and what's happening in the world, and let me check on the individuals that are helping to move this organization forward. And I am a Black woman in my organization, and we're seeing a lot of that. And so I think one is just conscious leadership to recognize what's happening around you, and again, just having that transparent conversation to take place. So that's one thing I would say, just from a leadership perspective, is be conscious and don't be afraid to ask questions or comment some things that might make you uncomfortable. Sometimes that uncomfortable conversation can help someone not get to that burnout perspective. But for yourself, if you are experiencing that need for a crash or burnout, one, just being transparent again and saying, I just need a break to offload for a second, because no one can read your mind. And a lot of times we're in our own bubble sometimes, and we're just going that sometimes we want to check on you, but we're just not consciously thinking about it. So I would just say the word of the day, well, I guess it's a phrase, just be conscious. So.
Perfect. No, I really do think that you have a really good point with that being transparent, being conscious and honest is just really important during this time. Anyone else would like to add on to that?
I've got one, and I think for me this was so critical, because as the days went on and the return to normal didn't come, and the cleaner and the childcare and the worker and the employee kind of tagged on, what I realized was that I needed some me time. So I actually carved out a morning routine where, yes, it means I get up early, and yes, it means I might snooze, but I set my alarm an hour and a half before I need to be up, just so that I can have that time to work out, to get the day set up, to ground myself. I even do a slight bit of meditation, and I find that really helps to keep me grounded and to remain focused, because I know that at a minimum, no matter what happens throughout the day, whoever takes the time away, I've had that time to myself and I've gotten my priorities out of the way.
I absolutely love that you mentioned morning routine. I think that is incredibly important. I know that I like to do my morning crossword puzzle to kind of get myself set up for the day. Has anyone else, I guess, kind of put something in like their schedule like that?
So this is one that actually came up yesterday. This isn't something I've incorporated, but I thought it was an interesting practice, and it kind of goes along the lines of, don't be surprised at how really small things can actually influence your capacity to be able to deal with load in general and to be able to have that balance within your life. And so one of the practices that a colleague does is he actually, there is usually transition time when you have to commute to a job, right? And so you're going from one thing to the next. And so oftentimes I use that to listen to books on tape, or to listen to the radio, or to just get collect my thoughts if I had to jump into a meeting right when I got into the office. And so one of the things he did that I thought was fabulous was that he actually drives to work, but he drives about 2 miles away and then 2 miles back in the morning. And that's his transition time. It's a way of bookending his day. So he starts his day literally by driving. He doesn't go anywhere. He just like drives a couple miles, drives around the block, and then comes back home. But it's really a way of sort of blocking off that time. And so whatever mechanisms that you have to create those boundaries for yourself and those reminders, you know, that, hey, I've got to start something and stop something and give myself the transitions I need. You know, as an agile coach, I'm constantly harping on the concept that there is no such thing as multitasking. That does not exist. It's called task switching. And your brain is literally going from one thing to the next thing. And each time you do that, you lose productivity and you lose time. That also includes transition time. And so there is some transition that needs to happen before you start your day and when you end your day, so that you're able to engage meaningfully. And that's just a little bit of taking care of yourself. And he said, it's like, it's a 10-minute drive. Like that's all he's trying to do, is just create those boundaries. And so I thought that was a neat sort of practice. I don't know that I'll do that, but I thought that would be sort of like a unique way to share if somebody wants to do something along those lines.